my Democratic colleagues want to destroy this court. And if they get in charge of the House, the Senate, and the White House, virtually all of them has said they will expand the court from 9 to 13, or whatever number they want to pick, to dilute the conservative majority that's been formed over decades. Why? Because they want the court to be another extension of their liberal agenda. For decades, Democrats have enjoyed a court that would rule in their favor when they couldn't win at the ballot box, and that's come to an end. So their response is to destroy this court. What did the court do? It issued a decision regarding the status of the president, and it said the following: absolute immunity for actions within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority, such as pardons. When the Constitution confers an authority on the president specifically, they have absolute immunity. If that weren't the case, it would be chaos.
The Constitution does grant immunity, so the founders knew how to do that. They did not give immunity to presidents. The immunity granted in the Constitution was to legislators, to protect Congress against what the founders feared most: abuse of presidential power, like ordering false arrests to block our voting. Even then, legislative immunity accepted felony and treason. The Trump justices invented presidential immunity and then didn't even carve out treason. The first mention ever that a president can freely commit crimes comes from this court, just as we have our first ever criminal presidential candidate.
I think we should have a law at the federal level that would say after 15 weeks, no abortion on demand, and that should be where America's at.
The senator's proposal would keep in place the most extreme state-level abortion bans that ban all abortions. It is an extreme piece of legislation, and it is in line from what we are seeing from Republicans on these extreme agendas. That is not in line. That is not in line with the majority of Americans.
America is a country committed to individual freedom and the rights of the people to make their own decisions, and not having busybody theocrat politicians in state capitals telling them how to make their own decisions about their careers, about their lives, about their families, and about their health care. And certainly not allowing Lindsey Graham to dictate to the women of America what their destiny will be.
Mr. Smalls, have you filed a complaint when you thought you were wrong?
Have I?
Yes.
The Attorney General of the state of New York has on my behalf.
Okay, but you had a process where somebody could advocate for your interest.
There is a process that's not working.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. Now,
That's a fact. And you should listen, because we do represent your constituents as well. So just take that into consideration, that the people are the ones that make these corporations go. It's not the other way around.
Mr. Chairman, I really enjoyed working with you, but wow. This committee is taking a very dangerous turn under your leadership, to be honest with you. You're singling out a single company because of your political agenda to socialize this country. Every time I turn around, you're having a hearing about anybody that makes money is bad. The government needs to grow beyond our ability to pay for it. And we're going to have an election on your ideas here soon, and I can't wait.
Responding briefly to Senator Graham, I think he suggested that a hearing like this is radical. And you know what? I think he's right. In a Congress dominated by corporate lobbyists and wealthy campaign contributors, the idea that we would actually hear from the working class of this country is, in fact, radical, but I make no apologies for that.
Could you fairly judge a Catholic Senator, I have a record of
I think the
fairly
answer would be yes.
judging everyone.
I believe you can.
Graham, what would you say to somebody like me who found out that their son had an anomaly that would make him incompatible with life in 16 weeks? I had regular appointments, I did everything right, and at 16 weeks we found out that our son would likely not live. When he was born, he lived for 8 days.
Yeah.
He bled from every orifice of his body, but we were allowed to make that choice for him.
Yes, ma'am.
You would be robbing that choice from those women? What do you say to someone like me?
Here's what I would say. The world pretty much has spoken on this issue. The developed world has said at this stage into the pregnancy, the child feels pain, and we're saying we're going to join the rest of the world and not be like Iran. As to your particular case, there'll be exceptions for life of the mother and rape and incest. But
There are no exceptions in this bill.
count me in for more revenue. We're going to need more revenue. But if you think taxing the wealthy is going to save Social Security, you're wrong.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, that's not correct. We're not talking about raising,
We're not. I'm
no,
sorry.
6.2% on all income. for
Okay,
individuals.
well, I asked her. She said 12.4.
Well, ask me.
I'll
That's
ask
my
you.
bill.
It's 6.2.
You can be doing this for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, you are looking at 30, 40, 50 years in prison.
Good.
Cut.
Good.
I understand,
Absolutely
Senator, but what
good. I
we're
hope you
trying
are.
to do
Good.
Allow her to finish, please.
I hope you go to jail for 50 years. If you're on the internet trolling for images of
Please.
children in sexual exploitation. So you don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a horrible
not
thing.
what-
This morning, I'm going to announce my decision on Judge Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court. I will oppose her, and I will vote no.
Is the president disappointed in particular that Senator Lindsey Graham, who had voted for Judge Jackson before, opted to vote against her yesterday?
The president is looking forward to Judge Jackson getting confirmed, and I would say, I'd echo what I said yesterday, which is this is a question best posed to Senator Lindsey Graham. What exactly has changed since he voted to support her just recently, relatively recently? She has the exact same credentials, exact same qualifications. So no, I wouldn't say the president's spending a lot of time thinking about it, but I would say it's a good question to pose to Senator Graham.
The effort to delegitimize the Roberts course seems to be unending. The rhetoric around this has led to a man being arrested outside Justice Kavanaugh's home with guns and ties. A few days ago, there was an effort to stop a man who wanted to kill and torture 6 members of the court. Senator Schumer famously went to the court and threatened Justice Kavanaugh and Gorsuch before the Dobbs decision. So the American people, I hope you understand what's going on here. All of us, I think to a person, believe that what's going on against President Trump in New York and Georgia and other places is politically motivated legal garbage. That's what we think. We think Jack Smith's efforts are beyond the pale. They talk about insurrection, but he won't be charged with it. They've opened up Pandora's box. There'll be conservative prosecutors in states and counties probably taking up the challenge in the future. And that'll be bad for the presidency. What's going on here in America at this point in time, I think is bad for the presidency. Justice Roberts is probably the smartest person I've ever met in my life. I think he's motivated by an allegiance to the law. He has a conservative bent, that's for darn sure, but that's okay. It's okay to have a liberal bent, as long as you're faithful to the law. I think he is. Matter of fact, I think he's one of the most decent people to have ever held the office of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. At his very core, he's a decent man. And what are you accusing him of? Basically, creating a monarchy in our country. That's just shameful.
There are several conclusions you can draw from this sorry episode. One is what laughably fake and disposable doctrines textualism and originalism are. Trump v. United States was manufactured out of thin air. Nothing textualist, or originalist about it. Doctrines of convenience. Citizens United similarly had no originalist underpinnings. While we're at it, so much for case or controversy humility, or solving a split among the circuits. Instead, we get this grandiose partisan leap to a so-called decision for the ages. Trump just offered a $1 billion quid pro quo to his fossil fuel donors. Bribes of officials are usually for official acts. Now the acts can't even be used as evidence. Treason, too, is usually most dangerous from the inside. A treasonous president using his official powers, collaborating with crooked appointees in his administration, whom he can pardon, could sell America out to foreign enemies. Whatever deals or concessions Trump may obtain from Vladimir Putin to sell out our Ukrainian allies, he can walk away with scot-free. The timing smells too. The Colorado insurrection case needed a quick decision to help Trump, and Trump got a quick decision. Quick decisions can happen. United States versus Nixon took 3 weeks. Bush v. Gore took 4 days. What would help Trump in this case was delay, and he got delay. And then he got this decision, creating yet more delay. Had the court intended to shelter the Republican nominee from unpleasant accountability before the election for criminal acts, it could hardly have done better. He got a slow-mo Bush v. Gore. Remember how we got this. The billionaire's scheme to capture the court, spending over $500 million doing it. The billionaire's secret gifts program to keep justices happy, showering a particular justice with millions of dollars in gifts. The billionaire-funded flotillas of amici providing directions. The absence, uniquely in government, of any ethics process, not even fact-finding. Creepy right-wing billionaires worked for years through phony front groups and mischievous minions like Leonard Leo to acquire the court that dark money built. The billionaires are reaping the rewards now of move after move towards oligarchy. Unlimited political money, secret political money, voter suppression, gerrymandering, squelched political corruption prosecutions, and now allowing a billionaire's stooge president to use his powers criminally with impunity to help the creepy billionaires. It is starting to look less and less like America. Thank you, Chairman.